Hello vlog, listen, it's Jordan here. Oh, and the girls just came out the restroom finally. Listen guys, I was supposed to vlog earlier, but they told us that we couldn't bring, well, y'all want to tell where we are right now? Well, what city and why we're here? Y'all want to tell them?
We are in Montgomery. Yay! We're meeting the governor. We're meeting the governor today.
Yes, and so we just came from a committee meeting at from the House of Representatives of Alabama, and y'all know I'm just like a kid in the candy store today, but they told us that we couldn't bring phones in, so that's why I couldn't vlog. I hate that, but I did meet some amazing people, and then right now we're at Alabama State University. We're having a luncheon with the president or the chancellor or something. We're having
Whatever.
yeah, but we'll see y'all back. All right, bye. Hey everyone, we are outside now. Tell the vlog hey. Say hey to my vlog.
Is this,
No, we are
is this
outside
a vlog
now.
that goes on your YouTube?
Yes, it's going on YouTube.
Hi, random people that I don't know.
Yes, guys, we just kind of got outside of the, what is this called? Frederick Hardy Center at the Alabama State University. We're outside right now. We're getting ready to go to the governor's mansion. And I'll kind of...
It's not a mansion. It's what
What you call it? The governor's
office?
The governor's office, right. And she just took my glass like I can't see.
I have double glasses. It's not helping me see.
But anyway, we're going not to the governor's mansion. Where are we going? To the governor's office, right.
Yeah. Ooh.
Thank you.
Hey, your prescription's strong. You see.
I can see out there. No, you just probably blind.
Like,
Cause mine is only plus 0.75. But she's getting the tour. Oh, they on my vlog. Yes. Representative Drummond.
I'm just.
I should have been just
I'm the camera woman.
Yes. Amanda's the camera, my camera girl, my camera person right now. We thank God for her for the rest of the day. Amen.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Wait, no, wait. You did that.
Yes, thank you.
Have you told the camera about that?
Are here, you know, everyone is here today. We just made Tell the vlog, hey.
Yeah, look at Samora. Yeah. Okay, go.
Listen, one day. They tell us to go now. One day, this is gonna be my office. The governor's mansion, the governor's office. Walk up the steps with me. I'm gonna give you a tour of my future home. Come on. It's a pleasure to have you here virtually. As we're walking up the steps, you know, to the Capitol Hill offices. This is a very historic building. It's just amazing to have you here with us. As you're going to go on
You know how hard it is to walk upstairs without tripping and film a video at the same time?
But now it's just the executive branch, the legislative branch is across the street there, and the judicial branch is down the street, down Dexter. Okay? Any questions before we get started? Anything y'all want to see, talk about, do? Just see it all. Now, some of you are already sitting, are retired, we've been doing stuff all day. Yeah. Okay, so you want like the cool, fun highlights, skip the boring parts, not too many more stairs. Yeah, okay, I got you.
I mean, I want everything.
Not too many more stairs.
I want everything. Let's go.
Hey, I want to see everything, but like stairs.
I want the full experience.
Alright, so this room was the Supreme Court Library. When the Capitol was built, they had a small little room for a library and immediately realized they had more books than justices up on the top, and it backed up to the Supreme Court, which is just behind us here. To talk to especially our school groups about the 5 capitals of Alabama here in this space. The first location was down around St. Stephen's, which was down around Mobile. That's when Alabama was a territory. And then they moved it to Huntsville, and in 1819, we elected our first governor and drafted our first state constitution up there. Then it went to Cahaba for a few years, and then to Tuscaloosa for about 20 years. And then finally it came here to Montgomery. When it came here to Montgomery, this is the building that was built, and within 2 years it burned down. So when it burned down, they built this one, and fortunately, we have kept it standing ever since. So that's that sort of history. Any questions in here? Yes?
Who decides where they move? Like, what made them just move from?
Good question. When it was a territory, so everything is built on a river, okay? They're all river cities because that was the main means of transportation. St. Stephen's, down around Mobile, when it was a territory, down here was a very populated area, but then they didn't want just down there to have it, so they went to the top of the state so that everybody kind of got represented and had access to it. Then they went to Cahaba, that was in the very middle of the state. It had a lot of problems with flooding, and with flooding comes mosquitoes and disease and things like that. And it was just not a very good location for the capital, so they moved it to Tuscaloosa. The capital did burn there, but there was a kind of a political push that everybody wanted it further. It was the original Supreme Court chamber, and this is the edge of the original building. All that part that you came in when you first came in, that was all added around 1992. So it's the most recent addition. Now I can ask you guys, where y'all from?
Mobile.
Mobile, okay. I want to know what parts of the state were. All right, so y'all just come on in. That way we can get everybody in the room. Don't feel like you have to hang out on one side. All right, so this was the original Supreme Court chamber. It served as the Supreme Court chamber for Alabama from 1851 up to 1940. They moved out in 1940 and got a giant building, and so they have a lot more space now. Since they moved out, we keep our Alabama's Fallen Heroes Memorial in here, which is dedicated to the men and women from the state of Alabama who served and died during the War on Terror. And I guarantee you, you know somebody who knows somebody who's on this wall. We keep this in here to honor their memory. Now, I have one photo of the justices sitting at the bench, so you can see what the bench looked like when it was here. So, and there were 7 justices, well, so no ties. 90 years in here, and this is the only picture of them sitting at the bench. Anyway, let's see, what else about this room? One of the most famous court cases that was tried in the Supreme Court of Alabama was the Scottsboro Boys trial. That took place in this room in 1932. So, a lot of history there, but it's so tight. Like, you can imagine all of that going on with the big bench up here. I don't even know how it would span out, but everybody would be right in on top of each other trying to work through those kind of very hard issues. So anyway, I digress on that one. This picture here is the oldest picture we have of this room. This was taken in 1893 when Jefferson Davis was laid in state here. He had actually died 4 years before in 1889, and there was a big debate over where he should be buried because as President of the Confederacy, some people wanted him buried in Richmond, but he was from Mississippi. They wanted him buried there, but he was elected here. They wanted him here. But he died in Louisiana, so they wanted him there. And anyway, 4 years later, they finally shipped him to Richmond to be buried, and they brought him up here and laid him in state. Because he had been dead so long, when they took him out of his mausoleum and brought him up here to lay in state, they say he haunts this space, and it is one of our capital ghost stories. So I don't hang out in this room just for for fun, just in case, because it may not be a thing, but it might be. So we're gonna move this way. We're gonna gather around the statue in the middle, and we'll talk about some things out there.
Entertainment.
In the original layout, the governor's office is right here on the left. Now, the governor's office has their own wing down there. So that's where Governor Ivan's office is. Our Secretary of State is right down this hall, as well as our state auditor. Our staff here is also Sandra Flawless. She was our very first female governor. How many female governors do you think we've had? Only two, and that's Governor Wallace here, and then Governor Ivey there. She was elected in 1967 and died while in office. She had cancer and died in 1968. She was the third female governor in the nation, so Alabama was a little progressive on that end, a little less progressive in other areas. That's how it is sometimes. Our first four governors, though, are the ones that are portrayed here. We have William White Bibb there, Thomas Bibb there, Cisco Higgins there, and John Mercy there. And then down all these hallways are governors' portraits. And then upstairs, we get to return to there are our four most recent governors' portraits. Okay? Any questions? Yeah, so they were actually brothers. He lived in the northern part of the state, and he actually lived just up from here in Elmore County. But they were brothers, so he was first, after he died, I think he maybe was then his lieutenant governor, then Thomas was elected. Any other questions? I think it was particularly common, just because at that point, Alabama was still very newly settled, so people were moving out to make their fortune and develop their land and, whatever. They just happened to both move into Alabama instead of one going to South Carolina, one going to Alabama, one going, however, wherever. Okay, we're going to move over here along the staircase, and then we're going to go up the stairs here, up the stairs. Yeah, just anybody who wants to donate to the building, because tours are free, coming in is free, it's, it's a public building. Okay, so these stairs are special for a couple of reasons. One, they are floating staircases or cantilever staircases, which is not a common thing to see built around. I mean, not a lot of people have these. They have to be specifically engineered for all the support to be in the wall. Okay, so these were done in 1851 by a man named Horace King. He's got a poster over there and then a painting on the wall, if you can see either one. He was actually born into slavery in South Carolina, and his master was a man named Mr. Godwin, who was a bridge builder. So he taught Horace the trade of bridge building, and he became very...
Okay, guys, tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Get behind you.
Yes, you gotta get behind me, bro. Okay, welcome. Where we going now?
He's got my phone because I can't hold my phone.
Welcome. We're going up to Captain Canada. To my home. This is better than the pictures on the wall. Where's Robert Bentley?
Y'all can come on in and make sure everybody gets up so everybody can see.
Oh my God.
It was built in 1851, but all of these beautiful paintings and decorations and stuff were done around the 1930s. There's a picture over there of the man, Mr. Roger Mackenzie, who painted all of these. He painted them down in Mobile. He was from Mobile, a Scottish immigrant to Mobile, and he painted them and shipped them up on the railroad. And then they glued them to the wall and then built frames around them. So that's kind of a nifty way to do it, I suppose. The paintings show 400 years of Alabama history, starting with 1540, the meeting of Hernando de Soto and the native chief Tuscaloosa, the colony established in Mobile, the surrender of Jackson, pioneer homeline, Governor Theodore Jackson's first state constitution, the antebellum period, Jefferson Davis being sworn in as president of the Confederacy, and then time of development of resources up until 1930. So, we're about 100 years behind on our paintings. We only have 400 years up there. We're almost to 500. So, I don't know. I think we need a new painting that covers maybe the civil rights movement and the space race. I think those are two important impacts Alabama's had in the last 100 years.
How did they get the paintings up there?
Scaffolding. Scaffolding
They
with
scaffolded all of them?
yeah. Do I know?
They did that for all of them?
Yeah, so they built the platforms that go up and then they climb the ladders and then they go up and they glue them to the wall and then frame it around. Something like 30 pounds of glue they had recorded for those. It's quite a lot, yeah. Our four most recent governors, the ones that's in here, that's Governor James, Siegelman, Riley, Bentley, and then Governor Ivy's portrait will go up here when she finishes office. All right? Any questions down here? Okay, so it's a little bit tight in these spaces. So something wrong on this. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about these two areas, and I'm just going to let you go look at it. To the right, we have the Senate chamber, and it's restored to what it looked like in 1861 because that is where the 7 southern states came that had seceded from the Union to form the Confederacy. So that's the room that was formed in. So it is purely museum space at this point because nowhere else in the nation has a nation ever carved itself out of the nation. And so it's a historical place. It's on whatever registers. Y'all, I haven't had enough coffee for this afternoon. A couple questions I get asked most in there are where the gold buckets, their spittoons, the green fabric on the desk is to keep your parchment from sliding off and to absorb ink. And if you look to the left and right, there are holes in the walls. Those were tubes that went down to the original governor's office so they could throw notes down or bouncy balls or whatever they needed. So I'll let you go look in there in just a second. And then on the left here, they've gone out. Anything like that where she has like a big audience kind of thing, they'll bring like people sitting here and she'll do your stuff right there. Down that hallway is a room that's empty now, so we're not going to go see it, but that's where the Department of Archives and History was started, and a little room right there, and we do have the oldest Department of Archives and History state-run in the nation. I'm very proud of that. And I guess the other thing about this room, if you see the painting over on the wall over there, the woodworking or whatever, turn around and look to the wall right behind you.
This one? From purple?
So it's just flat. It's just flat paint. It's not actual wood on the wall. It's the same all the way around.
They wouldn't make sense. But I love that reinvention of that.
Wait a minute, that's not real.
No, touch it.
That's pretty. Time period.
It looks so weird, like especially from a distance.
I don't know. I had a French person try to tell me how to say that, and I don't have the accent, so I don't get it right. But it's a 3D style painting that was very popular in the 1850s. Any questions in this room?
People are drawing 3D dimensional art
A
now.
small distinction between that room and this room. The Senate chamber was where the Confederacy was formed, and that's where the Confederate government met. But during the Civil War, Alabama still had her own government. They were under the Confederate, just like Alabama is under the federal now, but they had to have their own space. So the Alabama government met on this side, and the Confederate government met on that side until they moved it to Richmond. This is also the room where Alabama voted to secede from the Union in 1861. So, that's all I have for this one. Any questions?
Yes.
So we're gonna, if you wanna look in here and take pictures, that's fine. I'm gonna come back out in the middle. If you wanna go look on the other side, like I said, it's a little tight, so maybe take turns going in there.
Want to Hazen? Yes. This is welcome. We're now into the House of Representatives here. I'm so glad that you're with us on this tour. But I'm glad you get a chance to see my office and to see all what we do here. Thank you. At the governor's mansion, well, governor's office, rather. But this is really the people's home. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. You can't take pictures.
I go.
Listen, as you are on this tour,
I'm sorry.
as you are on this tour with me, and I'm so grateful that you all are here in my office, you know. This is
our wonderful sponsor. Say hi. It's a vlog.
No, so that is all painted. That is all painted, except for those
Yes, but
spokes that kind of come out, you can tell are wood. The rest of it is painted. So that's what I'm like, I don't know how to do it.
welcome in our office. We're so grateful to have you here. You know, at the governor's office. It's a blessing to see you. God bless you. Yes. Amanda wants to touch my chandelier. You can't touch my chandelier, man.
Shiny. Look. Why? It's shiny.
Out of taxpayers' money. Watch me walk down the stairs.
You look like a old person. Look at me.
But this time we're going outside now. I hope you're enjoying this tour. I wanted to do this. You know, because it's so important to let you know this is the people's house. People's home. Walk with us.
Whoosh, into the outdoors.
We're out here outside.
Get in the light. I can't see you. Too dark. It's so black.
Excuse me.
There we go. Look at that view. Oh, sorry.
I'm so grateful for this opportunity, Alabama. Listen.
Point at the camera again so I can get a picture of it.
Listen.
All right.
You all
Alright guys,
have
I'm
a
gonna
great
point out a
responsibility.
couple things to you just since you're here.
This is your
and I know
house.
y'all got other places
Show
to
Mr.
go.
George. Show
On
Mr.
the left right here, the federal government got involved and within 5 months they got the Voting Rights Act passed. So it was a very big monumental thing that happened here at Dexter Avenue. Y'all are going to the Legacy next, right? Have you done Freedom Rides or Rosa Parks? Maybe? No?
Yes.
Well,
The thing.
there's the statue of Rosa Parks is all the way down on the right, down across from the fountain, and then Freedom Rides is a couple blocks the other way. So if you're here next time and you have time to do those, highly recommend. But yeah, Dexter Avenue is where pretty much all of history happens here in Montgomery. So lots to see. All right. Well, thank you for coming. Is your bus going to pick you up here or the back? I'm going to get you
Okay.
a picture here.
Thank you all for coming.
Okay, probably. Okay. And then you can just walk that way into that little roundabout. All right, thank you for coming.
I just want to say this. Listen. I love the people of Alabama. You all have so many opportunities, more jobs, more economical development. Thanks to my Uncle George. Shout out to George Hunter. Inspire Gas, you know. Even thanks to my Uncle Artist, who's the vice president of ExxonMobil. Even my mother, the best mother in the world. I couldn't do this without her. You know, my mom was always a hardworking woman. She was always is and always determined. My greatest example, a woman who is resilient, a woman who strives for excellence. And I think that's why I have so many values that I have for myself. But I do want to say this. You have to have high standards. No, not like the time. But anyway, you know, you have to have high standards. It's a windy day, but I'm going to tell you something. High standards keep you away from low quality situations.
Where you drop us off?
That's it. Oh, you're supposed to stop recording. Thank you.
Stop.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming to the governor's office with me today, for spending the day with the governor. Listen, I enjoyed you all today. Someone just walking past in my video. I don't appreciate that, but that's okay. You know, life happens. This is Alabamians for me. Praise God. Vote for me in the next election. Listen, together we can. That's a good slogan. Together we can. God bless you, and I love the people of Alabama.
And together we will.
Oh,
And together
come on,
we will.
Jesus. Bye.